Hey guys, what's up? Stephen here, and we're back to another Roblox tutorial. And in this tutorial, we're learning more into how we would set up a GUI or a screen GUI into a coding perspective. So it would be easier to adjust the frames for the coding aspects from parent to child, and also it would also be easier to set it up with a more, how would I say that, more desirable approach on design. So let's get to work. So since we're working with GUI, we're gonna work on with starter GUI, and we're gonna input screen GUI. Let's say that this screen GUI would be our, let's say we would, this would be our menu system or menu GUI. Now that we have our menu GUI, we would add a frame on it. But before you add the frame, what you'd add is an image label. So this means that your image label, or you can have an actual image in your menu GUI. So if you want to add some pictures on it, you could have it as a background. So let's scale that. So we're gonna scale it first to a 1 so that we would have it here. So always ignore GUI inset because Roblox has a default GUI, and if you don't ignore it, it's not gonna be 1 1 anymore, and it's gonna be somewhere along, there's gonna be somewhere right here, there's gonna be a gap, and it's gonna be like the Roblox default. As in, if we're gonna put an image label with a, or a screen GUI with a IgnoreGuiInset, it's the whole it's the whole picture, or it's the whole screen of your game. So what we're gonna have this here is our main image, and in our main image we would also have our main frame. We're gonna put in frame, and we're gonna put in main frame. This way you could change your main image, and you can still maintain your main frame inside that main image. So main frame would still be the same as the size of your main image. So we're gonna have that in our one. So let's say you have a picture, your main frame would be on a background transparency. The only reason your main frame is there is for you to adjust it. So let's say your main image has some pictures. Oh, this is not uploaded yet or saved in Roblox, so we're gonna have to stick with this one. And let's imagine that a bit. So since we're aiming for a whole background of the menu image, let's say we have some borders right there, and we want to put some buttons on our mainframe. Just copy your mainframe, paste it there, and rename it as subframe. So let's say that this subframe is around this part of our menu, point 8. And then let's actually just color this gray, or whatever this color is, and we're gonna set it to, let's say we're gonna have this set on our settings, we're gonna position it on point 8, and then the scale will be 0.25, and it's gonna be on 0.5. Why are you not moving? So somewhere around this, or maybe longer. Then let's just adjust this to 0.5 and 0.75. And then under your subframe, of course, this is where you could design. This is where the actual stuff happen, wherein you can put in let's say UI corner, and then put in, let's say, somewhere around 0.5. That's too much. 0.1. And on your subframe, since this is your actual subframe, you can just duplicate this and put it here. So let's say this one is the settings, and on when you click on the settings, there's another option or another list here. And your subframe, let's say this is your subframe 1 and this is your subframe 2. So when you code it, you could actually like have it in there. So and then we could have a close button. Let's add an image button. So this would be our image button, and we would have somewhere of let's just adjust the size a bit. Oops, not 0.1, maybe 0.1. No, that's too much. 0.05, and then let's add it to 0.1 or 0.75. Oops, 0.75. So we would have an image button here, which is a close button. So let's just change this to red. And then let's say you didn't want any images in there. You could always have that on transparent and have this on transparent, and you'll still have a clear image. But this is just setting it up on a code wherein whenever if you want to change something in your mainframes, you don't have to change it all. So let's put this on a close button, and now you could have an actual UI that is set up for code perspective. So when you code it, you could just put your local script here, and then everything would fall into place, that you can have the close button, close this, close that, and then you can have your inventory system in this actual local script. That's on a complex topic, but you get the if you get the gist of it, feel free to comment down below whatever questions you have. So this is kind of setting up your GUI, and it can also be something like this if you want to remove the main image, but with a preference of adding image on your actual mainframe, use an image frame and always add in the mainframe. Don't put in, let's say, don't go directly to main image and have those subframes without a mainframe. Always have them on the mainframe, so whenever you code, you don't have to code this to visible. You just need this mainframe to come so that everything will be visible. You don't have to code everything, but you can just simply call the mainframe to close everything. And I hope that makes sense. And if you learned something on this video, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Catch you on another video. Bye bye.